You're about to meet Neville Locker, a man who's been collecting pieces of our past for more than 50 years. He's built up what's become one of Australia's largest private museum collections, and tomorrow he's selling it all. Paul Caddack took a step back in time to view the relics in the town of Adaminaby.
It's been a lifelong passion to preserve Australia's colonial past.
I've had it open to the public place for over 50 years.
At his Snowy Mountains property, Neville Locker is one of the largest private collections in the country, a window on life in the 1800s.
And these old fellows, they would talk to me and tell me stories about bush rangers and exciting things, and I think that whetted my appetite more.
Gold Rush days, when you had to watch your back. So a knife and a gun in one?
There was all in one, so you could have self-protection at the same time you were cutting up your meat or doing what you like.
This is where skiing began.
And they're supposed to be the oldest known skis in Australia.
Everything for everyday living, from a butter stamp to a hat stretcher. This is a school calculator.
They could do all their multiplication tables and everything just by turning this around.
This coach did the run from Queanbeyan to Cooma. I mean, you can do that drive in about an hour now. How long did it take back then?
Well, probably 8 to 10 hours.
Neville is selling it all, more than 1,000 items.
So it's time to hand the baton on, I think. And I always think that you really only have a lend of this stuff, and if you look after it well, then you can handle it on to the next generation.
When it comes to country life in the 19th century, it's all here, from cradle to grave, from the baby boots, back when they were built pretty tough, to everything you'd need for a day at school. For the wedding, maybe something in olive. And then for the departed, a horse-drawn hearse.
We've had inquiry from overseas, quite a bit of interest in some of the ski stuff from Norway.
It all goes under the hammer this weekend, including this hammer, which could date back to the 1840s. In Adaminaby, Paul Caddack, 7 News.
Still to come in one of Australia's largest private museum collections has gone under the hammer. It's been sold by a man who's been collecting Aussie relics for more than 50 years. Paul Caddack was at the auction in Adaminaby along with hundreds of keen buyers.
In Man from Snowy River country, there was movement at this station because word had got around one of Australia's biggest heritage collections was being sold.
You won't see this sort of stuff anywhere else.
Hundreds of potential buyers were giving it the once-over, a real close look for some items.
It's easily about the best collection I've ever seen.
Terry and Alex came from WA, interested in old shears and carrying on owner Neville Locker's tradition.
We've got a chance to carry it on, hopefully for another 20 or 30 years, and then we'll pass it on to somebody else. Temptation
had some wondering what to do with an old surveyor's buggy.
I said to my wife I might have to buy this and on the way home pick up a Brumby in the Kosciuszko National Park.
It sold for $9,000, this horse-drawn hearse $12,000. But the star, this Cobb & Co coach.
I was just trying to work out how they're going to fit 11 people in there. They must have been quite thin back in the day.
Done. You're out.
One.
It went for $94,000.
Thank you very much.
But the value is not just in how old the object is, but also how much they know about its story. Take this old shearer's bicycle. They know it was bought in 1900. They know he traded a horse saddle and had an IOU to pay for it. They even know the pub where the deal was done. It went for $450. $100 bought Tim Mooney this old cheese press.
A friend of mine's got a cheese factory down in Milton. I thought she might like it.
That's the trouble, you have to get them home.
So much Aussie history is now in many hands, and Neville Locker couldn't be happier.
These people, they're paying hard-earned money for things, and they'll look after it, I'm sure.
In Adaminaby, Paul Caddack, 7 News.
Sally Barrage.